Hello and welcome to Hedgewitch Hearthcraft. I'm Caitlin Rhiannon. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I'm going to be using tarot cards and oracle cards to get an idea of the energy for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, and how we can best navigate throughout or within those energies. I'm going to be pulling 2 cards for every sign of the Western Zodiac. This does not need to be limited to your sun sign. This can apply to any of the placements in your chart. The first card that I pull will be from the Robin Wood Tarot, and this will give us our prediction for the week. And the second card that I pull will be from Brian Froud's Faeries Oracle, and this will give us some advice on how to navigate throughout the prediction. At the very end, I will also be pulling a universal manifestation card to give us sort of just something to focus our energy on, maybe something to meditate with throughout the week. So if you are jumping around to the cards that are pulled for your sign or your signs, make sure you also jump to the very end to get a little bit of that into your life this week. There are timestamps in the description to make all of this hopscotching just a little bit easier. Now, since there is technically a day left of Aries season, let's go ahead and get started with our lovely Aries. Aries, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the Fool reversed. So this probably isn't a great week for new projects, new journeys. If you are trying to take steps forward, it feels like things are just delayed and lagging and not giving you the results that you want to see right now. It's a fairly frustrating week for you, Aries, and it feels like you are you're being pulled out of your element, out of yourself, and there's a real risk of hopelessness and just like trying to rush in any direction because any movement is better than no movement, and that can, sort of be an out of the frying pan into the fire sort of situation for you. So try to be cautious with that. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Fairy Guide card. So it is interesting to notice that both of these are card 0 in their respective decks. The Fairy Guide is it's your own spiritual guide, essentially. That's why the card image is blank, because the artist did not want to try and interpret some image that would be able to resonate with every single person who uses the deck and has the deck used with them or for them or on them. It's blank because this is your guide and you're being asked to connect to this energy, connect to your intuition, Aries, your spirit guides, your ancestors, your fairy guide, your angels, whatever it is that you work with that gives you guidance and hope and that little lantern of light that helps you to find your own way along your path. Try to listen to that voice or reach out to that voice and see what it has to say instead of just rushing like this reversed Fool in any direction that you possibly can find. Slow down and allow yourself to listen to the messages that come to you right now instead of trying to go to them. Taurus, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the 5 of Swords reversed. So there is a little bit of inner conflict, or a lot of inner conflict for you over this next week, Taurus. You're having a hard time reconciling what you have been going through. Whether you have been coming out on top, you're questioning whether or not you even deserve these rewards that are coming your way, or the opposite, and you are almost like you're letting yourself believe that you deserve to be suffering. If things are not going the way that you want, there's a big risk over this next week of saying, well, I don't deserve what's good. And even if things are good, you're saying, well, I don't deserve what's good. So universe is probably going to take a cue from that if you're not too careful. Try not to say it too much. Try not to focus on that energy too much. Taurus, this is it's a very heady mental energy over this next week that you're sort of dealing with, and it's not an easy one to reconcile within yourself. The oracle card that comes along with this is Arvel Parrot, also reversed. And this is typically, normally, about communication. So as a reversed energy, you're more being advised to watch what you say. You don't have to say everything. You don't have to say anything. And especially if you are having a hard time dealing with what is going on in your life, other people are not going to understand, especially if things are going well, why you are bringing yourself down, why you are doubting yourself. And if things are not going well, other people are probably just going to want to give you advice on how to get out of that situation, instead of focusing more on the fact that you are stuck in your head over this week, over this period of time. So you don't have to try and explain yourself to anybody. You don't even have to tell anybody what's going on. This sort of gives you permission to keep everything to yourself, close to your chest, just quiet right now. Taurus, you choose how much you tell. And if you start to open up and you decide suddenly that, no, this is not worth it, you get to say, I'm sorry, I'm done with this conversation, and just walk away. Gemini, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the reversed Five of Cups. As far as reversals go, I like to see this one upside down whenever possible. So for you, Gemini, the week is more about focusing on what is going on positively in your life rather than what isn't. You have already grieved. You have already been grieving, and you probably still are to some extent. But over this next week, you're being able to, or you're finding yourself more able, or you're allowing yourself to move away from the grief, or to pull your focus away from what isn't working, what you have lost, what is going wrong in your life, and focus more on what is going right, on what is positive and what is coming into your life. Because you have emptied yourself out, you have done this purging and this release, and done the grieving attached to it. Now there's all this space in your energy that makes room for the good things that can come into your life and give you real, genuine fulfillment. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Singer of Healing. And the advice is really just to lean into this positive, emotional, moving energy and allow yourself to heal. You have already been through the worst of this particular situation. Not necessarily the worst of everything, because as we all know, things tend to come and go. But for right now, things are going, and that's a good thing for you, Gemini. You're able to let go of what has happened, what is in your past, what is no longer relevant to who you are and who you are becoming. And this healing energy is all around you, and you're really being encouraged and advised to just lean into it. You don't have to actively do anything right now. You can just sit there and be and let things come to you. Good things are coming. Cancer, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the reversed King of Cups. So over this next week, there is a little bit of a struggle when it comes to controlling your feelings, and really, you are really trying to control your feelings, and that may be why you are struggling so much this week, Cancer, because emotions don't make sense. They are not easy to compartmentalize for a long period of time, definitely not permanently. And if you have been doing this, especially, for a while now, it's really likely that over this next week, a lot of those emotional dams are going to be breaking. And the more you try and control your feelings and dictate what you are supposed to be feeling or what you should be feeling right now, the more likely it is that your feelings are going to become completely out of control and start to carry you away with them. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is Tobira of the Waters, and also reversed. And both of these are water elemental energies. So the advice that comes from this reversal is to not try so hard to control things. Just let things be. Now, Tobira of the Waters specifically is about reflection and letting things be and paying attention to your feelings. But because of the reversal, it may be more advised that you just let those feelings go rather than sitting and dwelling on them. You have done a lot of reflecting as it is, and now all that you can do is keep going over them and over them and over them, and it gets overwhelming if you keep experiencing the same feeling over and over again, and it also ends up numbing you to the emotional experience. So try your best over this week to let things go instead of keeping them held tight within yourself. Leo, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the Hierophant. So this is very much a card about obligation, doing what is expected of you, whether that is what you expect of yourself or what other people expect of you. There is definitely a hierarchical energy with the Hierophant card about looking at the people who are in positions of authority or positions higher than you, people who you consider icons, idols, people of wisdom, mentors and teachers and bosses and managers, supervisors. You're looking to these people who are supposed to be leading you for instruction or direction or suggestions on how to move forward. And it can feel like you are not necessarily being totally true and genuinely yourself over this week because of this. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the Fee Lion reversed. That is two words, fee, F-E-E, as in like dues, fees, and taxes, and lion, and that the fact that the lion is reversed and your Leo is the lion, it's very much like you are not yourself this week. And that ties in with this Hierophant making you feel like you are not able to be fully yourself, that you need to play a role for the expectations and the comfort of other people. Now, the Fee Lion is normally, like I said, taxes and dues, about doing what you need to do. But because of this reversal, there is a reminder as you are doing all of this work for everybody else and as you are meeting other people's expectations and even your own expectations, you're being advised to make sure that you reward yourself, that you acknowledge what you are doing, because you cannot always expect other people to acknowledge what you've done. Not everything. They might not notice it. They might be too busy working on their own stuff. They might not be able to see all of the details that you put into things, but you see it all. You are there for every step of the process. So give yourself credit where it is due. That includes to yourself. Virgo, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the Nine of Swords. Doesn't this look like a fun week, Virgo? There's definitely some stress this week, if you can't tell just from the image and the symbolism of the Nine of Swords. But there's a positive to this, because it means that you are processing. This is old stress. This is old grief and pain that has been sitting and just building and festering and poisoning you from the inside. This is stuff that has made you shut people out and not necessarily cut people off, but definitely avoid particular levels and depths of conversation and interaction with people, because you don't want them to notice what's going on with you. You don't want them to ask if you're okay. This is the stuff that you have shoved aside to deal with later. But now later is here. So over this next week, it is really likely that you're going to be experiencing a lot of really uncomfortable mental movement. This is helping to clear it out. Once you have gone through this, you're throwing it out. You're done with it. It's not coming back. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Singer of Healing. Virgo, this is a good thing. I know that it's hard. I know that it sucks, but the Singer of Healing says that once you are through this, once you have gone through this and dealt with it, you are going to be so much better. You are experiencing a healing process. Healing isn't always comfortable. Sometimes in order to set a bone properly, they have to break it back into place. And it's not comfortable. It's not fun, but it's necessary in order to heal, in order to recover and continue growing and moving forward in the direction that you want to as a whole and balanced and grounded and connected human being. So by purging and releasing and dealing with all of this, you're getting it done. You're sitting there and getting the stitches put in, and it sucks, but once it's done, and you're gonna be okay. Libra, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021 is the Five of Wands. So communication this week is strained at best, at least. Yeah, at best. At best it's strained. At worst it's awful. So there is just, people are not seeing eye to eye. People are not understanding you. I can't even get the words out to you, Libra. Like, it's a tough week for communication. If that's any sort of indication, there's just, people aren't seeing eye to eye. Everybody wants to do what is best for them, and that honestly includes you, and that's not a bad thing. You're allowed to be worried about yourself and to focus on your own best growth, but you can't expect everybody else to want to work with you towards your goals and set their own stuff aside in order to do that. Right now, it seems like everybody is kind of focused on themselves, so you're probably not getting the assistance that you want or that you are asking for. And if you do ask for help this week, good chance that it's not coming in the way that you want it to come. So careful what you wish for. The oracle card that comes along with this is Nellis the Alchemist, and she is reversed. And this one is about transformation. So over this next week, you're more being advised to, rather than trying to make things happen, just sort of let things be. Things are not necessarily supposed to be moving right now, Libra. And maybe it's better to just let things rest. Don't have any expectations of anybody else. And focus on yourself. Focus on just being and looking at the situations. See if anything will eventually change itself. And if that is the case, then maybe you can pull your hands out of it and focus on something else. So instead of trying to direct everybody and make things happen for other people or for yourself, just this week, take some time to assess and sit and wait and see what happens before making any decisions or taking any direct steps forward. Scorpio, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021 is the Fool reversed. So movement that you have been taking seems to be slowing down over this next week. And if you haven't already taken opportunities, it seems like they are starting to close their doors on you. So this can be a little bit of a push to get those done if there is still time. But it can just be saying that now certain opportunities are no longer or not currently available to you. So it's more important that you focus on the tasks that you have on your plate right now rather than trying to focus on anything new or anything different. Just sticking in the present, because there's not a lot of movement this week, Scorpio. You're not being guided forward or urged forward in any direction, and trying to take movement for its own sake will just end up making you chase your tail. It will not take you anywhere productive. The oracle card that comes along with this is Himself. So this represents the divine masculine. Now, as an advice card, this can be asking that you connect to that divine masculine energy in some way. I usually find that this just means connecting to what people stereotype as masculine energy. So things like virility and assertiveness and like that charging your energy up and driving yourself forward, making decisions and taking what you want. That's sort of like what we would typically qualify as masculine, even though it applies to absolutely anybody, regardless of where they fall on any sort of scale there. So as you are, sort of spinning your wheels over this week, the himself energy comes forward and asks you to just connect to divinity, connect to that earthy and masculine, heady energy, whatever that means to you, and use it to process what you are experiencing rather than trying to rush into the next experience. This is more about taking charge and facing what you are going through than trying to drive yourself into the next stage. Sagittarius, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the Four of Pentacles. This is a good card for stability. So there are a couple meanings with this one. Over this next week, there is a really good chance that you are grounding yourself. You're connecting a little bit more to the material world. So your money, your income, your work, your physical home, your physical body. There is a risk with the Four of Pentacles of holding on really, really tightly and sort of being too rigid to allow any sort of movement, like greed and almost like a tradition, like sense of leaning into tradition so hard that you resist change. So just because things are starting to go well, make sure that you are staying a little bit flexible, because things always have to change in some way or another, and it's really good to be prepared. So if you are sort of focusing more on the abundance, on the finance, make sure that you're not overspending. Make sure that you're not being, that you're not hoarding, that you're not, all things in moderation, staying balanced. The oracle card that comes along with this is Lease of the Shadows. And this is a hope card. This is that light at the end of the tunnel, the light in the shadows that helps to offer you guidance forward along your path. So the advice that comes along with Lease of the Shadows as you are working with the Four of Pentacles is to always look on the bright side. Don't necessarily prepare for the worst, yes, but hope for the best. Always temper one with the other. Don't be foolishly optimistic and spend every penny you have on something fun because you know that more money is coming. But you know that more money is coming at some point. Whether it is consistent or steady or, coming in right away, or whether you're going to have to sit on this for a little while, but more will come in the future. This light at the end of the tunnel tells you that there is something good coming always. So you don't necessarily need to expect everything to go wrong, Sagittarius. This is a lucky sign. You can lean into it. You can have some fun this week. Do make sure that you are staying a little bit prepared in case something, does yank the rug out from under you. But you don't necessarily need to expect it. Capricorn, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the reversed Tower. The Tower is usually about explosions and chaos and walls coming down and drastic, extreme, usually uncomfortable change. Because it's reversed, either you are resisting that change or it is not time for the explosion to happen. This does not mean that the change itself is not happening. It's just a little bit more gentle. And over this next week, you are the one being provided the opportunity to make the change happen. When the Tower reverses itself, it's like it gives you the power to initiate change, to let go of something and essentially pull yourself out of the Tower, bring yourself out of your own limitations or restrictions or whatever has been keeping you stuck in your life, whatever habits you have been in, that sort of thing, expectations or goals that aren't actually relevant to you anymore. You can leave those behind of your own free will, and then the Tower won't have to explode. This is sort of your heads up, something's got to give, something has to change, or universe will change it for you and hit the Tower with lightning and blast you out so that you land where you need to be. If you can jump out of the Tower on your own or find your way out, that will be a whole lot more peaceful and a lot more within your own control. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is himself. this is one of the sort of divine masculine archetypes in this deck. And when he comes up, he's asking you to take control, to not let other people dictate who you are. You are the only person who can determine and decide who you are, Capricorn. You get to make those choices. You name yourself. You decide what persona is going forward. If the person that you are right now doesn't resonate with who you actually want to be, you get to change that. And that is the message of the Tower, is that the change is within your control. So himself, this divine masculine energy, comes forward and says, take control. Here it is. Take charge. Make the change happen. Aquarius, your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021, is the reversed King of Cups. Your feelings are running away with you this week, Aquarius. It's like you're trying so hard to control and navigate, like, not necessarily navigate your feelings, but determine the direction of your feelings themselves, rather than experiencing them and just letting them be feelings, letting them be what they are. You're trying so hard to decide how you feel or how you should feel about things that your feelings are more likely to end up controlling you this week. So especially as hard as it can be for Aquarian energy to integrate with emotional movement, this week it just feels like everything is kind of turning on its head. You're feeling your feelings in a really obvious and uncomfortable way, and in a way that you are not in charge of, and you don't like that, most likely. Who does? Who wants their feelings to be out of control? But especially, Aquarians. The oracle card that comes along with this is Lacey Moon's Daughter. And Lacey is normally... Sorry, this is Lacey Moon's Daughter reversed. Lacey is usually, normally upright, about looking forward and having optimism and being excited for the future. And right now, Aquarius, with all of this emotional upheaval and turmoil and trying to decide how you feel about things, you're being advised to, rather than looking forward, rather than forcing joy and trying to determine how you feel, just feel. Look back. Look at what you have already been through. Look at the uncomfortable feelings, and not necessarily to dwell on them or soak yourself in them and suffer, but to just address them. Look at them. Look at what you've been through. Look at what you've gone through, and look at where you are. And the fact that you can pretend that everything is okay. There is a sort of positivity that can come from that, from, blinding yourself to what is going wrong, and the fact that you have the ability to focus on the good. You have enough good or enough imagination to create the good, and there's something to be said about that. But mostly, this is a week for reflection rather than trying to decide anything, force anything, make yourself feel. Just let yourself feel what is coming to you, even if it drags you way back into your past. Because once you have actually gone through it, you can move forward again. Pisces, so this one applies to me as well. Your tarot card for the week of April 18th to 24th, 2021 is the Devil. So, feeling a little trapped this week, Pisces, feeling like there is not a lot within your control. You don't have a lot of say over the way that things are going. You are stuck doing the grunt work, the dirty work, the work that you have either not wanted to do or that you have been avoiding specifically. It's all there now. And you're feeling very stuck. You're feeling very trapped. The Devil is an addiction card. So there is a risk of falling into habits that are supposed to help you and support you or give you a moment of respite, and just of using them to avoid all of the responsibilities that are coming up. Just because all of these responsibilities are here that you have been avoiding does not mean that you won't keep finding ways to avoid them. So try not to do that if you can help it, because they're not going to go away until you deal with them. The oracle card that comes along with this is the fairy oracle version of death. And death in this deck brings a gift. This is a peace card. You're being invited a chance to actually let go, Pisces. You are the one who needs to do it. You need to clear the space in your life. And this gives you a chance to release whatever energy of the devil is holding you in place, is keeping you trapped and stuck and obligated. You're able to actually, if you can do this, go through it, do the work, deal with the stuff and the heaviness and the feelings and everything, and release it. And then you're not trapped anymore. Then those chains associated with the devil card are cut or broken, and you are free to be the next best version of yourself, to shed the skin of who you used to be. So as you are approaching this new cycle of habit that could be presented with the devil, you can go one way or you can go another. So see if this is a cycle that you want to break, and if you want to turn left instead of right, just to see what happens. At the end of my readings, I like to pull a card from my favorite manifestation, motivation, affirmation deck, the Super Attractor. So I have pulled one card for everyone who joins me for this video, just to give us an idea of what to carry within ourselves, what to focus our energy on, maybe something to meditate on or meditate with throughout the coming week. So the card that I have pulled for the collective says, I release time and let the universe show me what to do. I release time and let the universe show me what to do. So for me, this one is about expectations. This is like, I release time. I let go of my expectation on deadlines for myself and let universe show me what to do. Rather than expecting myself to be at a certain level by a certain time, especially spiritually, I go to that place outside of time within myself, and I ask universe for advice, and I listen, and I let universe show me what steps to take forward, or to stay still if that is what I need. But it's almost like I release expectations of myself. I release time. I go outside of time and I allow universe to show me what I need to do with no expectation of deadlines, when it needs to happen by. Like, this is our own personal journey. We are all taking one step at a time. And for some of us, that one step can take days. It can take weeks. It can take years. For some of us, the step is easy. And we take another step, and we take another step. And our one step at a time is 10 times faster than somebody else's one step at a time. So it's really important to not compare your journey and the timeline of your journey to anybody else's. So release time and let the universe show you what to do. Affirmations can be a little bit personal, so what this one said to me might be a little different from what it says to you. I would love to know your interpretation of this card down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I hope that the readings in this video have been resonant and that they can provide a helpful, relevant compass to offer insight, clarity, guidance, whatever it is that you need to help navigate throughout the coming week. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment letting me know what you thought of the video, what you thought of the cards that were pulled for your sign or your signs, what you thought of the Super Attractor at the very end, and let me know what you would like to see in the future. I have got some guided meditations and I have got some more to come, but I always check here to see, what people want. What do you want to see? Whether it's more stuff with cards, more meditations, get to know my decks, witchy stuff, whatever you want to know. Whatever you want to know, let me know. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a fantastic week. Be good to yourself.